Hiya, welcome back to Duke on the Bike. Today we're heading past Loch Ken, heading towards Castle Douglas, and it's an absolutely stunningly beautiful day again. I'm hoping that this is going to be a portent of things to come in the summertime. That would be wonderful if we got a lovely summer again. Oh. A lovely summer for the first time in however long it's been. At least a couple of years. Ooh. Parton. We're in Parton. Nothing to do with Dolly, I don't think. So, when I was out earlier on today, there was a group of 3 sport bikes past me, going, hell for leather. Ridiculous, dangerous speeds, I would suggest. And it's one of the things I'll talk about today, because one of the reasons I don't ride in groups is because very often everybody knows that it can become a kind of impromptu race, and you kind of feel a little bit pressured perhaps to push harder than you're comfortable doing, or push harder than perhaps your abilities allow. And so I tend not to ride in groups if I can avoid it. These days, if I do, then I pretty much go at my own pace, ride my own ride, which will probably be the title of this movie. It's a full movie. This little video here. Now sorry, Mikado keeps talking to me. So yeah, and I'm going to tell you a story. It's a pretty horrific story about a friend of mine, and why you shouldn't really be pressurised into riding hard. When I was a boy, when I was young, we had a neighbouring farm, whoa! Quite a large dairy farm. Oh dear, I wonder what's happened here. We're going back, buddy?
Sorry?
Am I going back?
No, there's an load coming.
Alright, no bother.
Just quite to the right Richard House, just hold it to the left.
Cool. Okay. Right, we're pulling over because there's a wide load. So we'll just sit here and wait on them. So yeah, while we're sitting here talking, so my neighbouring farm, there was 2 sons that were about the age of my, the same age as myself and my brother, and so we used to play together quite a lot. We were in primary school together, and the father of the 2 boys had been a very keen motorcyclist in his youth. He was a bit of a hooligan, apparently, according to my father anyway, but there was loads of bikes in the farm, and we used to kind of get them going and play about on the farm roads with them, and it was great. And it's probably my first experience of riding a bike, to be honest. And as we kind of grew older, the 2 boys themselves decided became involved in motorcycles. So there was John, who was the oldest and was a complete natural motorcyclist. He was one of these guys that is just naturally talented on a bike. He was very, very fast, certainly, but he had the skills to handle it. And the younger brother, David, he was probably about 18 months or so younger than John. And he also became involved in motorcycles, but didn't really have the natural ability that his brother had. And so what happened was David had got his licence and was out with his brother, and obviously John had a year and a half at least more experience riding. Andy was a natural rider, and David just wasn't in that league. So they were going along, and John was going his usual kind of speeds, and David was trying his level best to keep up, and went for an overtake that really wasn't on. His brother had overtaken prior to that, and went head on into a car and was killed. He was actually horrendously killed. He was decapitated. It was absolutely horrendous. It gives me a shiver even thinking about it now, all these years later. But I have no doubt that had it not been for the pressure of keeping up, David would have still been alive to this day. So obviously that had a kind of knock-on effect to the community as a whole, and there was a lot less bikes on the road for a little while, and in fact obviously John, and I don't blame him, stopped riding altogether. It was utterly horrendous, and it was really, in my opinion, all down to the pressure of trying to keep up with someone else. So from then I have never tried to keep up with anybody else. Certainly sometimes you get a bit of ribbing at the end of the journey when they're all sitting with a cup of coffee and you toddle along at the end, but I don't have the natural skills for perhaps that like John had. I was okay in my time and in my sports bike days, and I perhaps did go a little bit faster sometimes than I probably should have, but as you get older your skills diminish. I am not half the rider that I was when I was young, and so I do ride accordingly, and of course self-preservation mode kicks in when you get a little bit older. So I don't mean to preach, but I mean the way these guys were riding earlier on, it could end very, very, very badly. So yeah, just ride your own ride, guys. Enjoy it. We're not out here to get ourselves injured or killed. We're just here to enjoy ourselves. Right, I'm going to put the engine off because obviously that policeman's in a lot further back. I wonder what it is. I bet you it's something to do with a wind farm or something like that.
20 minutes later.
Jeez, oh. So obviously for a windmill,